Happy early morning, guys. I just thought I would pop out a short little video for today. It is very early in the morning before I've gone to work even, but I just wanted to talk to you for a few minutes about 90s comics and the underrated series that were out there. So we could talk about Tank Girl, we could talk about a bunch of different things, but I was mainly thinking superhero books and the ones that are underrated. So maybe Darkhawk. What about Darkhawk? Well, Darkhawk was the brainchild of Danny Fingeroth, who had been the editor of Spider-Man for a long time. And he was trying to go back and get some of that Stan and Jack and Steve Ditko and John Romita Sr. magic and make that happen again with a new character. So now we have Chris. And Chris finds this amulet. And when the amulet pretty much eats its way into his chest, then he has the ability to become Darkhawk. And it's an armored hero, not armored quite as Iron Man. He's got a stranger looking helmet than that, but he's got a claw-like mechanism, almost like Batman, where he can use it to wrap around trees, scale buildings, things like that. And he's got gliders on his wings. And he actually has wings on the underneath his arms, kind of like those gliders that Spider-Man has or doesn't have, depends on what artist is drawing him, underneath his armpits. So why are some of these series like Darkhawk not really remembered by today's audiences? And I will personally say that I don't have anything against the last half of the original series of Darkhawk, but I will say that the first 25 issues with the artist Mike Manley, before he moved over to Batman, then that first 25 issues out of the 50-issue run, which was totally written by Danny Fingeroth, is the strongest of those issues. What are some other 90s titles that might be overlooked? Wonder Man, which was a spinoff of the Avengers starring Simon. I remember I picked up the first 2 or 3 issues of that, and he was fighting the Enchantress. And actually, he wasn't doing all that much fighting because the Enchantress had already taken over his body and his mind. I think Jeff Johnson was the penciler on that title. And so it never really attained A-list status, but it really was one of the better books, at least to start out with, that Marvel had back in the 90s, in the early 90s. Ghost Rider, to me, was kind of an unknown quantity, because when you get Howard Mackie and Javier Salters with Mark Teixeira, but you get a brand new Ghost Rider, brand new with a brand new bike, a whole lot of people didn't know how to take Danny Ketch. And it's one of those situations where I latched on to Danny Ketch as my Ghost Rider during that time. And I never really did care for Johnny Blaze. And you've got pretty much 90% of the people out there that know Johnny Blaze, and 10% of the people know Danny Ketch. Now, the title ran for 93, almost 94 issues. So there is some history to be made with that series, and there is history with that series. But Howard Mackie left, I think, after issue 68, 69, somewhere around there, and Salters and Teixeira were long gone by that point. They left. Salters probably left somewhere 15, 16, and then Teixeira took over and ran with it until issue 24. So there was, after that, it was a little bit of artistic upheaval. You did have Andy Kubert come in for a while. And, but like I said, that series at one time was pretty hot. But now you can pretty much find those issues in the dollar bin, no matter where you go. So that's just a couple of 90s books that I kind of think were undersought, underappreciated. What did you guys read in the 90s? Did you read Sleepwalker? Did you read Silver Sable and the Wild Pack? Did you read The Further Adventures of Cyclops and Jean Grey? There's a ton of different little tiny miniseries or series even that people just tend to forget. So down in the comments, shoot me one comment about one book that you really fell in love with and you don't think it gets enough love. And if I can find some back issues, I will be sure to go pick an issue or two of it up and do some reviews here on the channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day, and we will catch you later on.